And welcome back, everybody, to a super exciting episode of the TV show podcast. I am Jay Black, joined as always by the luminous Rhea Hughes and, Angelo Catani. I try not to insult you, Angelo, but I
yeah,
think
you
of,
do
like,
anyway, every
but
week.
I try to think of like a good adjective for you. But I mean,
Yeah.
Rhea is easy to describe. But you,
Brilliant. Try brilliant. It
There you
usually
go.
works.
yeah, I mean, again, we have to keep our audience involved. We don't want them switching off in the opening. All right. Well, actually, this brings up our first point, and I think that I need both of your radio expertise on this because, we talked about Byron Allen, who took over for Stephen Colbert, and CBS is touting that they made $15 million on the deal because Byron Allen is paying for Colbert's slot and selling his own advertising. He's a very smart businessman. He's a billionaire, et cetera, et cetera. Colbert's average viewership for his show was 2.69 million viewers. That is now down this week to 628,000 viewers.
Wow.
That is a 77% collapse. And I sent you guys an article. There's a media professor that is basically saying that this is going to have ramifications throughout the entire CBS network because people tend to leave on one channel. If you're tuning in for Colbert, then you'll watch the CBS morning show and then the daytime lineup and et cetera, et cetera. And CBS pushed back and said, no, that's not the case anymore. Nobody really watches things based on a channel anymore. It's all, different types of viewing. And Rhea, you work in radio.
Yep.
You understand lineups and lead-ins and all of these things. Does it still matter? Explain this to me and explain it for the people at home. What is a lead-in?
It certainly matters in radio. I mean, we have the Phillies, and the Phillies are on at night, and people get out of their car and they're listening to the Phillies. And what the hope is, when they get in the car the next morning, they would be listening to us the next morning. And that's always what we believe. I mean, Angelo used to lose his mind when our great dear friend, Big Daddy, would take off, which in the summer was a lot. Yeah. Because, he was the lead into Angelo. And, now we have John Johnson, who's terrific. We know John, he's awesome. But, that lead in to us was always critical. So if you had people getting out of their cars, when they got home at night and they were listening to the Phillies game, or people who are going to work, 3-4 o'clock in the morning, that all of those things are critical to getting them to the next show. So lead-ins are absolutely massive.
Right. Yeah, Angelo, I remember the reason why I know you, Angelo, is because of Big Daddy Graham's show. I used to go on to Big Daddy Graham's and you heard me there. That's how we actually got to be friendly. So tell me about lead-ins. How does this work? Actually, I think we may have lost Angelo. He's frozen. Rhea, I thought he was staring at me, intent. I
thought I was making a really good point, and for once he wasn't going to interrupt me. Hopefully he's logging back on. Oh
that
my God,
could be the case.
hysterical.
Although there's a chance, Rhea, he's 35 seconds into a rant and doesn't realize that he has been disconnected.
Right,
I'm
going to text him.
You send him a text, and I'll talk about this a little bit. I was on the overnight show with Big Daddy all the time. It's how I met Angelo. And wait, did I lose you? Oh, no. Angelo popped out. So he's coming back. He's going to come back, I'm sure. Yeah. And the thing is that I believe that the kind of person that still watches network television is still the person that tunes their TV to a channel and leaves that channel on. So I think
Jay, can I just tell you how nuts I am? Like, I have 2 TVs in my studio, which I always keep muted. But I have a Fox 29 I have on the bottom, and like NBC or CBS on top. If they're switched, I have to change them back. So, I mean, I'm like crazy that way.
Yeah.
Angelo.
Angelo's back. So
I'm back. I don't know what happened there, but I guess because I was about to use a bad word for the first time on a podcast. But if CBS says the lead-ins don't matter anymore. CBS no longer stands for Columbia Broadcasting System. It now stands for Columbia Bullshit. All right? Because that's all they do is Jimmy Kimmel last week, Jay, because he was following the NBA Finals. That's a direct lead-in, correct?
Yeah.
He was averaging, his numbers went up after Stephen Colbert went out. He was averaging 2.89. Last week, 3.89. Exactly one better.
Yeah.
The lead-in matters. And I'll tell you why. Because people in the old days used to be lazy. And they
Yes.
didn't want to get up, or they ought to even use their remote to change the station. They're lazier today. If
Yeah.
you're going to say a lead-in doesn't matter, you're going to have to argue the people are much more dynamic and animated than they were 2 generations ago. And that is not true. All right. The fact of the matter is that this Byron Allen thing they stuck in there, shame on them. Shame on Larry Ellison. Shame on Paramount. Shame
Yeah.
on the administration for approving the merger now. It's fully through now, so that everybody got rewarded for kissing the president's ass. All right. But the bottom line is it still matters. And you know what else matters? Putting on something that people enjoy watching. And if
Yeah.
you're going to lose 77% of your audience, you are not serving the interests of the public. You are putting crap on because you can line your pockets. Larry Ellison is already a billionaire. He doesn't need more freaking money.
Yeah.
That's the real story. He doesn't need more money. These billionaires, somebody's got to stop them.
And Angelo, you bring up a point that I think a lot of people forget, which is this old school idea of broadcasting as a public service. That if you were going to have an FCC license, you had to put on something that was in the service of the public. Didn't mean that everybody had to enjoy it, but there at least had to have been some effort that this thing would be enjoyed or informative or whatever. And if you're just going to let Byron Allen put his slop out into the world, you are not serving the public interest at all.
It's not. And just keep in mind that these jackasses that are now running CBS are the same people that took the #1 news institution in our lifetime, 60 Minutes, and is stripping it bare. It's like an old wreck, and you're taking the fenders and the battery out and put them somewhere else. It's a disgrace what's going on right now, and the people need to rebel. You need to get to the point where you say, bleep you, CBS. I won't even watch you anymore. You don't care about me. I don't care about you.
And,
no network can look anybody in the face and say a 77% drop in audience is fine.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. So you mentioned the Knicks, Angelo, and that's the second thing I wanted to talk about because we just got done a very popular 5-game series of New York versus San Antonio. And game 3 hit almost 24 million viewers, which is the biggest NBA audience since 2017. We used to talk NBA, MLB, NFL ratings all the time on the old show. Last year, Thunder Pacers in the same finals pulled half of those numbers, right? Nobody cared. So I guess the question I have is here, what's the takeaway? Is it that if you put New York and LA in a finals, you're always going to have monster numbers? And the second more sinister question that pairs with that is at what point is it bad for leagues to have parity? Shouldn't they just allow the teams that are the biggest teams to run rampant so that they can always have a good finals?
Now, you got to have the appearance of parity, all right? It doesn't actually have to be parity, but you need, you understand what you just said. Basically, the NBA Finals ratings doubled with New York in, all right? Now, they didn't double because that many people are rooting for the Knicks or against the Knicks. There's more intensity. That's a part of it. But even a bigger part was the parade of celebrities, which I found extremely amusing because some of them were just there to get the attention. All right. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, God bless her. She runs the world right now. The minute Taylor Swift shows up courtside with the Haim sisters and her security guard, 4 seats courtside, you're going to see bigger numbers because all the Taylor Swifties come running out. If you want bigger numbers, then yes, you need one of the big media cities involved. Chicago too, if you can get them. But it doesn't mean you can just hand them a championship so that you get the numbers. So you got to at least make it appear it's a close race. And I'm going to just personally, if people hate me for that, I'm thrilled the Knicks won.
Oh, stop it.
I'm going to tell you why.
No,
because you're Philadelphia.
I've been fighting this for 2 days.
I'm going to get sports for you in a second. Because all this proved to me was that stupid process the Sixers did all those years ago. The Knicks didn't sacrifice 4 seasons to get these great players. You know what
they sucked naturally.
Yeah, you know what they did?
Yeah.
They said, who has a pedigree of a championship? Oh, Villanova. Our Villanova.
Yeah.
Let's bring some of those guys in here, right? Starting with Jalen Brunson, and it'll work out. Guess what? That's a better plan than the friggin' process.
All right, but we're not rooting on the.
I'm glad you won.
I am so glad you weren't on the morning show because I would have crushed you this week.
No, you wouldn't have. I would have won.
No, you wouldn't have. So, Jay, there's a couple things. Yeah. Oklahoma is still a relatively new franchise. They don't have the fans that the Knicks do across the country.
Right.
And the Pacers, it's Indiana. So yeah, you had the New York factor, okay? You also had one of the youngest rising stars in Wemby. But what people I think forget is that the Spurs led like by 10 points, I believe, with under 2 minutes left in every game.
Yeah.
And they lost 4-1. Oh, they choked unbelievably. That game 3 you referenced. I dozed off in the third quarter because, I do wake up at 2:30. I woke up in the fourth quarter and I'm like, what? I mean, that was a huge choke job.
Yeah.
But here's where, when you're talking about the parity thing, where I think baseball has to be, they're going to have a work stoppage. We know that's coming. If the Dodgers win again this year and then win again next year, because they've just bought every player and they're not paying them for 70 years, people will grow bored with that. They just will. They will say, there's no race. I announced it before the Philly season. I'm like, we don't have any shot against the Dodgers, plus, all the mistakes they made. But that's the balancing act that you have to do. But I think the closeness of this series, although it was a 4-1 series, still was the games were close at the end. And that just drives ratings.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the one other thing I want to say is, yes, this proves the NBA can get some big, big ratings numbers, but not in the regular season. The regular season doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
you understand?
No, nobody cares.
Load management, all this crap they do, tanking, all this stuff. It's not going to make them more compelling in the regular season. It just proves the only thing that really matters is the playoffs, especially near the end of the playoff. The rest of the time, people don't care. It's not a big thing. So they have to still try to fix that if they can.
Yeah, they keep adding games. People, the NFL's proven the fewer games you have, people get more invested in them. Okay, so Rhea, I don't know if you saw this or not, because I know you're not a Office fan like Angelo and I. Rainn Wilson was talking about political correctness and basically saying you couldn't do The Office today because people would be up in arms about it. And I started thinking about this because my initial thought was it's not that much different. But the first season of The Office did not start auspiciously. It wasn't a very good start. There was only one really good episode of the first season of The Office. It was called Diversity Day. And Angelo, do you remember Diversity Day?
Yes, I do. It's famous.
In it, Michael Scott repeats word for word a very famous Chris Rock stand-up bit that he doesn't understand why it's inappropriate. And if you're familiar with the Chris Rock skit, I think most people are, you understand that he said some pretty unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
Could you get away with that today? Because I can't even tell people what the stand-up bit is. I'm afraid to do that. And should you be allowed to get away with it?
Well, I thought about it when I saw the comment. I thought, and I like Rainn Wilson. I love the Backstrom show he did, which didn't get renewed. I also just think he hasn't had a show in a long time, and that is factoring into it. But Angelo, you love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That is like 5 miscreants doing a show, and they do all kinds of horrible stuff. And they're in their 15th season?
16.
You want to know why? Because people, I've never seen it, but I just know people love it, and it's funny. If you do a funny show, you can get away with a lot. If it's a popular show, you can get away with a lot.
Yeah, I got to get into this because I wrote my blog this week about Charles Barkley and his comment about Cardi B because he made an innocuous comment during the NBA coverage of Cardi B probably being more Cardi D, a direct reference to the size of her breasts. Now, before you start thinking in any way that I'm a creep, all right? Understand I do these things solely for research purposes,
Oh,
both
yes.
the
Sure,
blog
yeah,
and the
yeah.
podcast. So I went to Cardi B's image page where they just show all the pictures that are up of Cardi B. The first 46 photographs,
And he
all
counted them.
I did count them. The first 46 photographs all feature prominently her breasts. All right. That is, if you're keeping score at home, that's 92 breasts. All right. And here's what you also need to know. She was not in the least offended by Charles Barkley referencing the size of her breasts. To the contrary, she liked it and she put it out there because it got her a ton of clicks. Do you understand this is clicks? These people, I got to go after these social media cowards who sit in the corner of their mother's basement and wait for something, anything they can create a firestorm over. And then they activate this army of nerds and losers who come out and make the life of the people who are there trying to entertain by whatever means possible. This is not the American standard. America can still handle double entendre, nuance, humor. Imagine that, humor. And these people, after the fact, Charles Barkley went on the Dan Patrick show. And he said, Dan, I really hope they fire me over this. Really, they know I got 6 or 7 years left on my contract. There's no way I'm going to do all those years. So they can get rid of me now and they'll have to pay me for all those years. Right. And then he said, and listen closely to this, he said, the people who didn't like it can kiss my ass. And I, in my blog, said the same thing. Kiss my ass. You don't like it? Kiss my ass.
And
that's how I feel about it.
Remember the whole Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake thing?
Oh,
that
yeah.
whole brouhaha. Was it
Nipplegate.
CBS? They fined like $300,000.
Yes, CBS.
Remember that? I think it did get rescinded. The fine.
It did.
Because wasn't it like one person who called?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big thing.
No.
These companies, corporations empower the bitchers, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as somebody who was a professional bitcher
Correct.
for over 3 decades, I can tell you something. Don't empower us. If we think that what we say is actually going to get us anything, we'll go crazier.
Yep.
So stop being cowards and tell these weird people in their basements to shut the hell up or put it out there and ignore it. I don't care. I'm sick of these people.
The one thing I'd like to add is that my favorite comedian, Tina Fey, who I think is just absolutely brilliant, they try to come after her every once in a while. Like somebody will find something in an old 30 Rock and they'll go, "Oh, this was offensive," and her response is always like, "Nah, it was funny. It's funny."
Yeah.
And then
It was funny.
That's the it. I love that. I love her just going like, "You can't be mad at me. It's funny. Moving on." So I think that might be the answer. Good work, Angelo, always speaks for itself, which I think brings us perfectly to a man that always does good work, our great sponsor, Steven Singer.
Oh, this is the thing. This is about hypocrisy. It's about people pretending they're all upset about something they don't even care about. People who are not being honest, right? That's why I love Steven Singer, because he's in a business that by its nature is not honest. When you go in, we don't, man, a lot of guys are there to buy an engagement gift, something, and we go there, oh, that's a beautiful gem. What is the quality of that gem? At that moment, the jeweler's in control. He could tell you whatever he wants, and you're probably going to believe him because you don't know enough. That is why when you go to a jewelry store, you need to have confidence that the people that are running that store are going to be honest with you. And that's the number one reason I love Steven Singer. He was always honest with me and all the years we were at WIP. He's honest with us here now on the podcast. He'll give you the truth. And that's all you can ask for in a jewelry store.
And what I love about Steven is we did a lot of politically incorrect stuff, and Steven
Oh,
was right there with us
he
all
loved
the
it.
time. Sense of humor. And check these out. These are called Silver Kenna diamond drop earrings.
Oh, nice.
$4.98. They're gorgeous.
Nice.
Yes, very beautiful. So,
Beautiful.
Guys, I just want to say, Angelo, to your point about honesty, I got my wife's Mother's Day gift at Steven Singer. I went in, they didn't have the piece that I wanted. And the second he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have that," I was like, uh-oh, they're going to try to upsell me into something else. I've been here a million times before, and I'll still take the money for the sponsorship, but I won't like this. And what he just said, "Oh, no, we can order it. And guess what? You don't even have to come back. We're just going to send it directly to your house." There was no upsell. He just got me the thing that I wanted and sent it to me. It was unbelievable to me.
Other corner of 8th and Walnut, now in Newtown as well. That's the best jewelry you'll ever find. Steven Singer Jewelry.
All right. Now, the best jeweler is Steven Singer, but the best British correspondent in the country is Rhea Hughes. What do you got for us this week, Rhea?
So, Angelo, you and I both love season 1 of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder with Pip Fitzmoby. Season 2 just dropped on Netflix. So it's basically a little bit of a continuation of the murder mystery from the first one, in that one of the bad guys, one of the kids in school who unfortunately raped 2 of the girls, is going to trial, and Pip is dealing with the fact that her unearthing the whole murder scandal in season 1 has impacted a lot of people, most notably her best friend. And so she's trying not to do anything. She's like, I'm out of the detective business, at the age of 19 or 20. But then one of her best friend's brother goes missing, and he's supposed to be testifying in this trial against the alleged rapist, who's played by, I should have had his name. He plays a scumbag really well. I will just tell you, sometimes you don't buy it. This kid, I will look up his name. I as an actor, I like him. His character, he's totally into it. Here's what I will say. It's a little slower this time. The first 2 episodes, they were trying to lay too much groundwork. This part. They were trying to do a little too much in the first. I'm on to the 4th, and now I'm like, all right, now I'm totally into it. I believe it's 6 episodes, but it's not as great as the first one. Because I think they were trying to connect too many dots to the first season. It is based off of a book, so they're kind of going in chronology of the book. But by the time you get to the 3rd or 4th episode, you're really into it and you're engaged with it. Also, Pip and her boyfriend Ravi really don't have any chemistry. They should have kind of tried that thing out a little bit before. I'm not buying the romance there, but the mystery part I like. So, Good Girl's Guide to Murder on Netflix season 2.
All right. Very nice. And Angelo, I know tonight is your night to go see Disclosure Day. We will be talking about that next week.
Yeah. My original plan was we're doing this a day earlier than usual, and I was going to go see Disclosure. What is it?
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day. And I didn't get to see it yet. And I have a complaint to lodge. Rhea's ruining my ability to do this podcast. All right. Because here's what happens. It's happening almost every week now. So Rhea will come up with a recommendation on British TV. And then it'll be like Wednesday or Thursday after we do this. And I go, we check out The Witness. That was last week.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm watching The Witness all week. Now it's the next week, and I don't have anything because I've been watching what Rhea recommended. It's not working out well for me. But I do have something here that I'm looking forward. Jay in a minute is going to give us his review of Disclosure Day. I can't wait to hear it. I'll tell you what I think next week. But here's what I want to right a wrong, an injustice that I was a part of. 3 years ago, there was a show on HBO Max called Winning Time. It was the story of the Showtime Lakers.
Yes.
And in it, the real breakout character in it was based on their great run with Magic Johnson and Jerry Boss and all these great characters of the past. But the big star was the guy who played Jason Clarke, who played the great logo guy Jerry West.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Now, Jerry, when you look at the NBA logo, that's Jerry West that's him from many years ago. And they made him out to be this crass, obnoxious, loudmouth, foul human being. This came out 4 years ago. We did review it. I remember reviewing it when we right near the beginning of our podcast. And he came out and he asked for an apology because it was so outrageously nothing close to who he actually was. And David Zaslav was running HBO Max back then.
We love him. Great
and
guy.
He basically told Jerry West, no, we're really confident that we took liberties here, but we got it.
No.
We nailed it. Well, there's a new documentary out now on Netflix, which is called Jerry West, the Logo.
Oh,
and in it, and here's the thing, it's Jerry West's last interview. He died in the making of this. The guy who did it, who made his first documentary ever, his name is Kenya Barris, and he's brilliant in it. He gives you an African-American perspective. He got a lot of great black basketball players and black figures to talk about how Jerry West defined an era and how important he was to the growth of basketball. And Jerry West is one of the nicest human beings you will ever meet.
Wow.
He comes across so sweet. He drops one F-bomb, which he did every 3 seconds on the TV show. He drops one in the whole 2-hour documentary. And it was a terrible injustice what they did to him. And you know, Jay, in a future podcast, I'd like to talk about how far is too far when you're taking a real event and you're using the real names and you're rewriting the script.
Look what they did to Daryl Hannah in the JFK thing.
Totally.
They completely changed her role.
Daryl Hannah in there was a blithering idiot. Yeah. And there's no way that's who she is.
No.
But they're doing this more and more now for entertainment purposes, and it's not right. It's not fair and it's not logical. Jerry West, the Logo, is a really terrific documentary because it shows you who Jerry West really was. And he was one of the most iconic sports figures of our lifetime. Watch Jerry West, the Logo on Netflix.
I just have a quick follow-up to say I really like that show, Winning Time. I don't know. I doubt the accuracy of a lot of this stuff. If you want to see something amazing, go to YouTube and look at the guy who filmed the basketball sequences in that show, because he was on rollerblades and he was going around the court with the camera over, like they had set up ramps, and he could follow the action and give you just amazing shots.
Wow.
It's one of the coolest things that you'll see. Look up Winning Time behind the scenes basketball filming on YouTube. Now, all that being said, we're going to talk about this next week. Here is my short non-spoiler review of Disclosure Day. It is a B- movie with A+ moments. And I say that the script is the main problem. As a screenwriter, I had a long talk with one of my buddies who's in the business today, and he agrees that this was like a half-baked script that is made much better than it should be by the artistry and talent of Steven Spielberg and an Oscar-worthy performance from Emily Blunt.
Wow.
Angelo, there's one scene that takes place on a train that Emily Blunt is more intense and scary than anything else in the movie. No special effects, just a woman holding the camera and talking, and it's amazing. So I recommend this movie, especially if you are a fan of Steven Spielberg, but do not go in with the expectation that it is a Spielbergian return to form, because it is. His artistry is there, but the script just isn't up to snuff, which was disappointing.
All right, let me just say, I'm using the J Black scale A
It
B
must be.
minus is really like a D plus.
You're gonna hate it, Ange.
Right, Rhea? I mean,
Yes.
when he gives something a B minus, that it doesn't go. He doesn't go to C very often.
I
I
think you
don't
just
know.
expected an A plus from Steven
Me
Spielberg.
too.
Yeah. No, that's the
So
thing.
we'll
And-
find out. I'll be checking it out, Jay. I'll let you know what I think. Let me go over what we did. If you want to see Kimmel, who's getting these big numbers now, he's on ABC and Hulu and Disney. If you would like to see The Witness, which I mentioned, that's Rhea's last week. It's really good. It's on Netflix right now, as is Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is her recommendation this week. Disclosure Day in theaters now. If you want to check out Winning Time and what they did to Jerry West, Winning Time is available at HBO Max. And I believe that's all we got this week. That's it.
Absolutely. That man right there is Angelo Cataldi. You can get his book Loud on angelocataudi.com, amazon.com. Prime Day's coming up. Order it from Amazon or audible.com. Rhea Hughes can be heard every single morning on the WIP Morning Show. You can listen worldwide on the Odyssey app, or you can check out her phenomenal Instagram at Rhea Hughes 94 WIP. Do you like half-baked political takes from a man who rants into a camera twice a day? Of course you do. Come check me out, Jay Black, at Hello Jay Black on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Just crossed 80,000 on Facebook, everybody. 75,000 on YouTube. I'm becoming a big star. Wait
Hold
till I
on.
start wearing a mink coat.
Did you say twice a day, Jay?
Twice a day, every day,
Yeah.
without fail, Angela.
So hold on. So you're doing once a day, and you went, nah. I got too much wisdom. I got to go to twice.
The people need to hear from me, Angela.
He's
so
a
yeah,
little
check that.
unhinged. I just want to point that out. Slightly unhinged, but amusing.
Hilarious, I would say, Rhea. And I want to thank our non-unhinged sponsor, Steven Singer, for making this possible, and our lovely audience for checking us out every week. We'll be back with more great TV content next week.